City Council chamber, start with pledge of allegiance. United States of America.
Nancy. Alderman Fairwell.
Here.
Alderman Rita. Alderman Montoya.
Here.
Alderman McGee. Alderman Carr.
Here.
Alderman Roy.
Here.
Mayor, you're from the side.
Thanks. Motion to approve the city council minutes from October 11, 2022, regular meeting of the city council. The motion, Alderman Fairwell, second Alderman Carr on the question. Not clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya. Alderman Carr. Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Alderman, Mayor Black. Aye.
Public comments? Public comment.
City council members, your honor, thank you for coming to talk. City council member, Gary, your honor, thank you for being on the safety awards. Name is Thomas Maverville. I live at 134-27 Mozart Street. This past Saturday, I had an issue about loud music. And this is a constant problem, the constant problem we had. They were behind me on California Street. These people constantly play loud music. I mean, if you want to have a, kind of not too loud, fine, but these guys blasted. And I called the police like 11 o'clock. I don't know what. Well, matter of fact, that Saturday, it was my backyard, and I talked to the gentleman, and I think I called police, and he said, excuse me, sir. You gotta call the police because we're having a party for my wife tonight. I said, sir, I understand that. You can't really bring loud music because there's a lot of elderly people here, people that work, and he kind of they look at me, what right one just didn't So anyway, I came back home at 9 o'clock and the music would. I told my wife, that's it. I gotta call the police. It's like 10:30, and I don't know. I heard this from a police officer. I'm not sure. He says, I would have to file some kind of a complaint with somebody here in the city council to tell him that he can't play that music. Am I correct? I don't. What way is it? Who's law? Our employee law? Who's law? State law?
It's the law.
Pardon?
It's the law. I'm sorry. I mean, it's law that the police need a complaint in order to actually take action. That's unfortunate.
Well, so in other words, if they find out. They could find out then. Yeah, because I don't want to be tipped. Like a sign officer there, my guys. I don't want these people to tolerate.
We'll talk at the meeting about that, but the alderman's correct.
Okay, but I guess I just want to, that's too much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Mr. Mayor, City Council, Alderman.
You can pull that microphone down, I help you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I come to the council, it's been a while. I've been working between Beloit and Chicago, so I haven't had the opportunity to come out here. But I was made aware today by the agenda, someone sent me a copy of the agenda for tonight's meeting, and there's an ordinance that's being proposed for closing off making Artesian between Grove and James Street a one-way street to allow Eagles to have more parking. I was pleased to see that the parking lot behind their building has finally been updated and striped, which has been long overdue. But the challenge that I have is if the street is made a one-way street, you've got 3 one-way streets going south and 1 street going north. You've got neighbors in the arts area. You've got a Blue Cat down at the bottom of Greenwood and James, which has got fire engines and ambulances coming and going periodically. Last year, a couple of years ago, we had an electrical storm, and unfortunately, it hit a tree on Artesian, and it kind of tore up some wires and took down that whole street for a week. We had no electricity. The only way out was going up Greenwood Avenue. And if we turn Artesian into a one-way street, we've got a number of tall trees as an example on Greenwood Avenue. If Greenwood Avenue goes down for whatever reason, nobody can get out unless they get a ticket, because that's what the law says. That doesn't seem right. And it's probably, it's kind of interesting that for all of these years, many years, I've been here for 4 years, this request has never come up before. Why? Is it because Ophelia's is coming in, and now we've got the Vols and Ravens and Ophelia's and Eagles, and we've got the coffee shop next door. Everybody has been vying for that parking lot. And there's probably a lot of people going, oh no, now it's coming through, and now we're not going to have anywhere to park. But I know that from a zoning standpoint, I happen to have seen as the former zoning chairman, when an application comes through, 9 times out of 10, you got to have a parking plan. And most people in that area cited the parking lot. And there have been problems that have come up before that, not everybody's going to be able to have 100% access to that parking lot. So what are we going to do? Nobody does anything. Again, about a year or 2 ago, I proposed that we had some ride sharing opportunities put around that parking lot to try and help to, rather than people looking for parking, how do we promote ride sharing for our city? Because we got a problem with parking in our city. We want more business, but the more business we bring in, the more parking problems we're going to have. And so, turning the street suddenly out of the blue from a 2-way street to a 1-way street feels like, I don't think it's been thought out. And so I wanted to come and voice my opinion that I think this needs more thought. I don't know what to recommend. There's no way out other than Greenwood and Artesian right now. So if we turn that street into a 1-way street going south, with cars blocking that street, because people are going to be parking there, there's going to be a problem, and it's going to come down to a lawsuit. I can guarantee it. So I'm trying to voice my opinion and say, hey, have we really thought this thing out, well enough to say this is a good idea? So anyway, thank you for listening, and I hope you think about it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jarlene Washington. I live at 2917 140th Street. My question is there in existence a document or information, whatever, that lets citizens who move in know what they should and should not do in terms of trash cans and refuse pickup? Does that exist in place, or they just kind of figure it out?
It's not currently plans on the website, but they were putting together one that's going to be direct mail. These should be receiving soon.
Okay, there's something on the website, because I'm known as a lady who tells everybody what to do, and I don't want to do that. Everybody doesn't, everybody can take my, I tried to live well, but you know what I'm saying? So I can say now, go to the website, put a little note, look on the website and find out how to do this. Thank you.
But there'll be one that's in entire time, so. Or the front line.
So it is on the website. Thank you.
All right, moving on. The mayor's report, we need a motion to approve payroll for October 14th, 2022, amount of $375,980.83. Is there a motion? Melvin Fairwell, Melvin Roll on the question. Not clerk, roll call.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
5 ayes, Your Honor.
Motion carries. Next, to the motion for accounts payable, the amount of $612,216.54. Is there a motion? Clerk Melvin Roll, second Melvin Fairwell on the question. Not clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Carr. Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Five ayes, Your Honor.
Carried, next we have an order, City of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, establishing resident-only parking on the east and west side of 128 Francisco Avenue. Motion, what call the roll, second by Alderman Montoya on the question? Question.
Was the high school made aware of this change? The administrators?
I did not notify them directly.
Any other questions? Clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya. Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Five ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next we have an ordinance to City of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, requiring one-way vehicle traffic within the city and provided penalties for violation thereof are Teja Avenue to Grove Street. I asked the chief a similar question earlier. Ann Street is also a two-way street. So it's not only Greenwood in that neighborhood. So if there's any other questions, that's the only answer I got. So,
That's not true.
No.
is there a motion? Alderman Roll, is there a second?
No, I'm sorry. I'd like to motion the table. I've heard from many residents who have similar concerns or overlapping concerns. So I'd like to table it pending some further discussion.
I'll second.
All right, motion made to table, first and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion to table. Next, we have a resolution, so I have a question, attorney, can we do all these at once?
It is just one.
Oh, just one, okay, covered all that, all right. Good. Resolution for the city of Blue Island, Illinois, to authorize and approve city of Blue Island computer and network policies and procedures. Motion, Alderman Roll, second by Alderman Carr on the question. Madam Clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya. Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Five ayes, Your Honor.
All right, motion carries. Next, we have a resolution for the city of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, according to Class 8 real estate tax assessment classification application by Nick Hernavas, the property located at 13810 Southwestern Avenue in the city of Blue Island, County of Cook, Illinois. The motion. Motion by Alderman Montoya, second by Alderman Roll on the question. Madam Clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya. Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Five ayes, Your Honor.
Motion carries. Next, we have an ordinance for the city of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, authorizing a collective bargaining agreement by between the city of Blue Island and the Metropolitan Alliance of Police, Chapter 549. Is there a motion? Alderman Carr, second by Alderman Roll on the question. Madam Clerk, please do the roll.
Carr and Roll.
Yes, ma'am.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya. Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Five ayes, Your Honor.
Next, we have an H, motion to award bid for property at 2122 West 119th Street, Blue Island, Illinois. Actually, that can be placed, correct? 119th place. Let's skip that right now. I believe place, we can get back to it before, let's go to I. Motion to award bid of property located at 2135 West 121st Place, Blue Island, Illinois, to Karen Johnson. The high bidder, motion by Alderman Roll, second by Alderman Montoya. On the question, Madam Clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya. Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Five ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carries. Next, under J, we have an ordinance from the city of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, granting a special use permit for Nana Small Corp. to operate a warehouse, R1 Single Family Residential District at 2969 Everett Street. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Roll, second by Alderman Fairwell on the question. Clerk, please do.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya. Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Five ayes, Your Honor.
Under K, we have an ordinance from the city of Blue Island, Illinois, amending sections 165.003, 165.063 of chapter 165, and the code of ordinances regarding warehouses. In relation to this other motion. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Fairwell, second by Alderman Rita on the question. Madam Clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya. Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Five ayes, Your Honor.
Motion carries. It is placed. Returning back to H, for the Scrivener's error, motion to award bid of property located at 2122 West 119th Place in Blue Island, Illinois, to Karen Johnson, highest bidder. Motion by Alderman Rita, second by Alderman Roll on the question. Madam Clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya. Alderman Roll, Alderman Roll.
Aye.
5 ayes, Your Honor.
Motion carries under mayor's announcements, they completed with the exception of some landscaping, backfilling, and tree planting on Artesian Avenue, Cochran Avenue, and Fairview Avenue. And moving on to Orchard, Kruger, and 123rd Street this week. They were rained out today. And they now project with the concrete that they should be able to finish the entire project by the time they set the end of the month and November. So that's the update I have for that. That's a big update. If anybody's driven down Artesian, we might have to look at the speed bumps in the future because I've already noticed a higher amount of traffic moving at a higher pace down those 4 blocks. That's all I have. Moving on to the clerk's business.
The scarecrow event has begun. It's everyone who took part. We have over 50 scarecrows, more than other communities. I just ask you to please vote. I want to thank Louise Montoya and Candace Pintello for doing a lot of the good work. Thank you so much. Day of the Dead is Wednesday, from 6 to 9. We have food vendors, artwork, altars. The dancers will be performing inside the lyric. We will have the streets blocked off on York and York, I'm sorry, at 4 o'clock. Blue Island Park District is having a trunk or treat this Saturday from 2 to 6. They're doing hay rides and we're going to touch a truck, food, and lots of more. If you're still interested in being a vendor, it's actually like correct, please contact the Blue Island Park District. What? Oh, the truck. Family bingo night is the Upper Room Outreach Ministries Church. It's this Friday from 7 o'clock. They will have a costume contest for children and free candy. St. Peter and Paul Lutheran Church will have their bake sale, Sloppy Joe dinner, and grab and go November 19th from 11 to 1. That's all I have.
Thank you. The director's not here for the question.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what did you say the other day? Tomorrow? Is it Wednesday?
What? Day of the Dead?
Okay.
Day of the Dead is Wednesday. That's Wednesday.
November 2nd.
November 2nd.
All right. Also, the clerk to report this meeting. The attorney and city administrators.
Just a couple quick things. Tom Williams, city administrator. Don't have a lot for tonight, but just a couple quick things. I'll get right into water billing in general. So this week we started for the first time in 3 years. Started off delinquent accounts. So I'm not sure, we shut off 15, 20 somewhere in that area. So as we continue to move through, as I said, as we talked about in previous meetings, we're starting with the low hanging fruit, which is to say very high bills. As we move kind of further into the list, there will be some more people affected by this. So as Alderman, you may hear some of this. But there was some very good results out of it. We found certain properties that the owner was deceased and it was not occupied, but there was water leakage, pipe burst, something like that. So water just kind of spilling out, pouring into the ground. So addressing those issues and getting ahead of that and cutting them off is advantageous to everybody involved. So we'll continue working through that. There are some businesses affected as well, but also the process did have its desired effect. We're getting more people coming in with their delinquent bills. So the process, as you remember, is there's a notice to the house, and there's a red tag to the house, and so there's pretty ample time leading up to this to say it's it's time to come to City Hall and get your water bill right. And with some of the administrative flexibility that this council gave us a couple meetings ago, we're able to work with some of our working families and some folks who may have more difficult time paying. Our old rules were pretty restrictive, and folks who just couldn't pay coming out of COVID. So we're able to get our usage paid, make some reasonable accommodations on penalties to get people back on good paper. The other thing I wanted to point out that is going to be a little new this year, one of the things we've discovered going through water bills is that we are severely in need of an audit of our senior discount rates. Basically, near as we can tell, anyone who bought a home from a senior over the past decade or so has never had their rate changed. Okay, that's not the fault of the owner per se, so there's not going to be any, back penalties or anything. But it is high time we get this right. Make sure that our seniors are getting senior rates and people who are not seniors are not getting senior discounts. So in this next month water bill and in the December water bill as well, overall, as we'll be blasting this as far and wide on social media as we can. We are going to be notifying that all senior rates must be reapplied for 2023. And so if you're a senior, the process is very simple, we basically prove that you're a senior. This does have to be generally done in person. We may have some instances where we have to make some administrative decisions about what we can't get in, having a relative or a neighbor or somebody come in on their behalf, as long as we can prove that the senior lives there. The senior rates should only be applying to owner occupied homes. So if a senior is a landlord, they should not be getting a senior discount rate. So we just have a lot of cleanup work to do here. So we're going to set the bar for notifying the public that they have to come back in. We can skyrate this across town. Everyone knows no matter what we do, there's going to be some people that we miss, some people that fall through. We won't be overly punitive about that. Our goal here is to just get people on. So if someone has their senior discount rate fall off in 23, we'll put it back on. We'll make it retroactive. We'll do the things that they're legitimately owner occupied senior. We just need to essentially audit the system. Basically, we need to clean it up.
The term posted is supposed to be done once a year.
Yeah.
As far as we can tell, it's never been done.
At least-
At least in that, I count people on this have been passed away for 10 years.
And we got folks who, no fault of their own, they just went in, put their, got the water bill in their name, and we didn't make the change at the city level, right? So this goes back, like I said, years and years and years. So our goal here is to hit the reset button in 2023, but we fully understand no system goes off without a few hitches here and there. So we might have a few hiccups, might have a few people who get a little confused, a little upset. We were pretty good at working with them at the counter, in the clerk's office. But again, I always try to offer this up. You as faces of this municipal government and the public are probably going to hear some things about this. So just keep us informed as if or when these things start to happen, when people are saying, hey, my water bill went up. Okay, well, some bills are going to start going up because of the new garbage contract, et cetera. And then we'll work case by case with your constituents in terms of making sure that they're getting the correct rate. That's all I got.
Just when does the new garbage contract take effect?
So the new rates will be in place on the first, right? And then
We have to work on the government. Next call, we need to work on the ordinance. Yeah, that's going to be a big topic on the next.
because that will dictate how the building is to 20. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any aldermanic announcements, comments, questions, or concerns? Alderman Carr?
I live on Fairview, which has just been paid. And ordinarily, I don't drive down my own street because I always come and go to the east. So I go up the alley. But today I thought I'm going to check it out. So I drove home the long way and went around. And it was really nice to drive down there and not have to bob and weave between the potholes. So
Did you obey the speed limit?
it's still a very narrow street with a lot of cars on it. It was nice to drive down in that, be jostled around.
I know that when they were doing our teaching, I put a can of Coke next to the amount of blacktop they were putting down, it was twice the amount. So it's like, the middle of the street's like 10 inches of blacktop. Because the street was so sunken, they had to raise the level.
I thought our t-shirt was beautiful.
Any of the aldermen? We don't have an executive tonight. However, I do have an update if you want to hear it regarding the hospital on a one-on-one basis afterwards. That's all I have. The motion to adjourn. Alderman Rita, second by Alderman Fairwell, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?